Hello and good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Paul Trani here. Thanks so much for joining me today as part of this design masterclass, talking about typography, creating a typography poster. So that's the plan. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Hello, Michelle. I see you here. Afrosia, fantastic. Yes, fantastic. Cool. Biola, Mercurial. All right, audio is good. Great to hear, And thanks so much for joining me. And we're going to dive into today's masterclass. It's all about typography, so that I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get this party started. Typography in Illustrator mainly. I'm going to be using Illustrator on the desktop, just so you know. And this is going to be good. So let's just switch over and you'll see what I'm talking about. All right. Be taking some simple text. I do want to say hello to Christina Davis, Steve, all systems go. Audio is good. Great to hear. Hopefully you guys are doing well this fine Friday, July 16th. Right, it's a beautiful day out there in wonderful Colorado, and hopefully that's the case for wherever you may be. So let's take a look at this. So this is what I have. I just have some text. I just started colorizing it, which I never do, but I'm like, oh, let's try to make it pretty, But basically have some text that we'll work with. So we'll start with a phrase. And based on that phrase, we will create a poster out of it. So it's going to be a phrase, a saying, a word, daydream. I like the idea of adventure, right? And these are a number of phrases. And this is quite frankly, one of my favorite things to do. Notice that right in here, there is, since I've typed up a lot of words, there is auto spell check. So this might be turned on, right? And it will start to highlight words. Like this should be capitalized. Typically, if you're making a logo or a poster or something, honestly, first off, I will misspell it as soon as I turn this off. But I don't like seeing those underlines there. So you could always turn those off. Just go to spelling and turn off auto spell check, just so you know. So that's what I have turned off. And what's up, Frank? Jan's in the house. Yeah, so let's make some. This ratio is Instagram ratio, and this is going to be good. I like it. Okay. Let's adjust my mic. And make sure I'm playing some smooth jams. I love the idea of adventure. How cool would this be? Because I think life is one big adventure, right? Sometimes, it's full of highs and lows, but this is a big word, right? But it's also kind of like a fun word where you could do lots of things with it, right? So I like that. Always curious about what phrases you guys might be interested in too. We don't want to get too cheesy. That's my fear with all of this. So yeah. We can go with the word adventure. Another thing I was working on was life is an adventure, which is longer, just kind of cool, right? But let's take this word and we'll just kind of roll with it. And yeah, let me know how you guys are doing. I'm gonna open up chat on a couple places. Oops. And as always, let me know if you have any questions. All right, let's do this. Here's one word we'll start with. And there we go. All right, chat in multiple places now. All right, so we have adventure, right? Again, typically I start with black, just to be honest with you. Take a word like this. Okay, you know what? This one has to be fun. So we have to kind of jump in and say, hey, you know what? What can we do with the text that will be interesting? So that's what I want to do here. It's like, do we come in and just try to pick a fun font. So that's what I'm doing right now. So I coming in here, rolling over this text, we can see it obviously like change. Okay, what's really saying adventure? Well, I think honestly, a handwritten or a script-based font would be great. So here's the handwritten, just like so. Da, da, da. I can kind of go through and see what's going to work for adventure, right? Like, and this is okay. Some of these are actually kind of hard to read, I'm realizing, right? Because that's a script font for you, right? I kind of like this one, adventure, right? You could easily see this image or this, this text on an image of somebody like jumping off a cliff or whatever. You get the idea. Another thing you could do is you could actually use this text as just like a guideline. And that's what I'm thinking I could do as well. So kind of making this my own, this is one approach you can take. Let me take down the opacity, okay, for my text. Because I kind of like this, but this isn't like it doesn't say Paul in any way. I can say, hey, you know what? Let's take this and just outline it, right, using the pencil. So jump in. We'll make it about medium smooth. That's the setting. Click OK. Take this, and then we're just going to kind of use that as a guide for drawing out your own lines, your own text over it. Let's make sure that we do have a stroke. There we go. So we'll come in, hit N for pencil. That's not how I do ours. Whoop, whoop. Adventure. You get the idea. Cool. So we've done that. Selecting this text, right? We have the basic bones of our poster, which works well. Life is an adventure. So Michelle, I think that's the phrase we're going to go with. Right, but already I think this like looks a little bit better. It may just be me, but this gives me a chance to kind of jump in and control like every single aspect of this. Like since I freehanded this, right, we know that these points probably could be a little bit more parallel. So we'll just jump in and make sure this R doesn't look like a V, bringing that down like so. I'm using a Wacom tablet. Clarissa's in the house. Hello, Clarissa. Maybe we will do that. Actually, let's, again, since we have this underlying font, right? This is kind of my guide. There it is, adventure. There we go. This one more time, lock it down, go in here. By the way, I don't have my iPad hooked up, but I could use Illustrator on the iPad, which is fantastic to use. Because that way, if you don't have a Wacom, it's amazing, right? This would just be no fun if you didn't have a Wacom or Illustrator on the iPad. Happy Friday, as Tim says. What's up, Tim? Hopefully your audio is good and everything's going well. It's good to see you, man. Tim is the man. Again, I'm just adding Paul's flair to it, right? By throwing in and making an L, right? That's appropriate. Let's just change this color of this layer so you can see it a little better. There we go. Another reason to do this, to have text that you're kind of drawing over, is it helps you to not misspell. Because chances are I'm going to misspell a word, right? I'm sure you've all been there where you show it to somebody else and they're like, look at this glaring spelling error. That's happened to me before. It's happened to the best of us. Okay, there we go. Life is an adventure, right? Taking that, we're like well on our way, okay? So again, standing on the shoulders of giants. Thank you so much to typographers that set this up, that let me use this as a template. Come in here, start to tweak this and tighten it up any way we want. We want to lock this up, right? And often what I'll do is I'll go into Illustrator Preferences, go into General, and make sure you turn off Scale, Strokes, and Effects. So I don't want to scale the strokes and effects in this case, okay? I just want to kind of come in here, like maybe make this smaller. It's less about is and it's more about life and adventure. So do we take this, bring it up here, and do a different sort of format? Again, that's just something I'm playing with. Playing with like just how these kind of like lock together. And if they do at all, like maybe it's okay this way, to be honest with you. Like, because typically what I would do with these, like, I don't know, supporting characters, if you will, I would shrink them down and I'd tuck them right in like that. And then I would take this text and make sure that's larger. So I would typically do something like that, right? I think this might be a little small, but that's okay. We could try it. Bliss is here, so we may begin. Bliss is in the house. All right, we got a full day full of masterclasses and live streams as well. Keenfro, I see you out there. Hello, I see you over there on YouTube. If you're joining me on YouTube, feel free to go to behance.net/Adobe Live, because that's kind of the main chat I'm looking at. And yeah, just so you know. Let's lock it up. Let's lock it up, folks. Creating this type lockup right in here. Yeah, we want to get rid of that. Parts of it. Let's get rid of those points right. Ooh, ooh. Steady, easy. There we go. There we go. Cool. So they're not running into each other. I do need the dots for the eyes. We'll work on those later. All right. Let's make this a little larger too. Zip. All right, from there, we can take this and get creative with these strokes. Bliss, exactly right. How is everybody doing this fine Friday? I got a really exciting day planned. I'm so excited about today. I can't even tell you. I'm so excited about today. Photoshop Masterclass is in an hour and a half. So again, still kind of like boring, but I love that it's like a piece of me because I actually drew the letters, right? So there's only one of these that exist, right? There's only one. I even like this wonky E. The E got a little wonky. A big thing about text is you do kind of need to keep in mind like your baselines or your X height. Try to keep those consistent. So we could see for this I and this E, pretty much the X height, which is this line right here, should be about the same. Also the baseline, right? What looks funny is I think this crossbar, this F crossbar, could be a little higher because usually it is in text, right? So if I bring that up, that might help out a little bit. But let's just have some fun back in this text. All I did is make it thick and round it. It's not quite working. That's okay. Let's start playing with some of the width profiles rolling here. This is a masterclass, so I want to like kind of go nuts pretty fast. Let's play the width profile. Bam! There we are. Crank it up, Paul. Make it happen. It's already better, right? Just like that. Okay, so we have it sort of like a thick and a thin. We can make it even more sort of give it more variation by changing the width profile to say the second one. And also, guess what? You can customize this. There we go. Boom. Here's I just had a fun idea, like a fun concept. And it might get a little crazy, but let's do this. I just love thinking of things like on the fly and working with you guys. Hopefully that's okay. But this is basically how these width profiles are built, right? We'll go in here, we'll select the width tool, right? So we'll select the width tool. We'll come in here and say, hey, you know what? We want this to be larger right here. Maybe smaller right here, large, small. We're going to make this a little crazy, and that's okay. And you guys tell me what you think it looks like. Just let me know. Big. Zip. Small. And maybe it's working, maybe it isn't. I'm trying to make something here. What does this look like? Or what does it seem like to you? Does it resemble anything? That'll tell me if I'm like on the right track or not. And want to say that we have Max coming up, so I think that a lot of internally looks like fish bones. Okay. Rorschach test. Okay. A really weird Batman logo. Because why not? You know, this doesn't work. I realized my problem. This is the problem that it has. Dang it. It kind of looks like sound waves, right? And now that I think about it, I'm like, I'm way off. It looks like sound waves. What I wanted to make is make your like EKG reading. Is that right? Sort of your heartbeat. But I thought, okay, take, you know, what is it? Is it EKG? Yeah, here you go. Like this. This is what I'm going for, but I realized it's not a perfect mirror. It actually goes up and down. So I'm kind of wrong. Anyway, so I thought it'd be kind of cool if like this became the stroke. So you had this EKG that kind of bounced up and down and it said life, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, I don't think that's working. That's okay. We'll take this. We can still take this, by the way, and we can save this as a width profile, which is what I'm going to do right now. There we go. So, and let's see if I can do that actually up here on this panel. But yeah, there we are. So you just click this. Once we've saved this crazy thing, my fish bones, add to profiles, fish bones. Yeah, we'll call it that. Why not? And then we have that width profile available. So jump in here, select this. It's gonna get crazy, folks. Right down there, fish bones, or voice EKG electrocardiogram. Oh, Stephen Booth with the dropping the knowledge. And there we go. It looks like somebody's scared of life. I'm like, oh, life is a very scary adventure. That's what this feels like to me. It's like all over the place. No, thank you. Yeah, know when you're wrong. That's huge in life. Know when to abandon ideas, right? So if this one works, we'll move that off to the side. I usually like to keep my source files, if you will. And let's see what else we got. Because right in here, we can go beyond sort of this, sort of simulating a brush stroke and actually use brushes. So yeah, brushes. Zabam. Look at all these crazy brushes that I already have in here. Let's go to this flyout menu. We can open up this brush library. Bristle brushes. Bristle brush library. And let's just see what happens if we click on one of these. That's okay. Again. There we go. Chalk, charcoal, and pencil into it. I like this sort of look, too. I like this one. Using this charcoal line, and this totally works, right? Life is an adventure. Still kind of boring and plain, but this is what. Let's open up the appearance panel. And let me check chat. Arsalan, what's up? Shadan, excellent, very good. Good to hear. You know what makes it happen is coffee. How do you get all those brushes to show up all the time? Great question, Bliss. In fact, I'm gonna make a couple of these. I'm gonna actually I'm first gonna turn this on. I'm gonna uncheck new art has basic appearance. So I have that unchecked. So this means the last selected line, if I click on this line and then I go to draw with the pencil, it's gonna have my last sort of selected line, which I love, right? So we need to do the dots of the eyes. That's how we'll do that. Dots of the eyes, zip, right? It remembers your last settings and then just draws with those settings, whatever, width, profile, blah, 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 all the stuff, right? Cool. Take this. Let's stretch it. And this is why I love Illustrator. Come on. Hey, Photoshop. Let's see you do this, Photoshop. Oh, yeah, I'm bending this line. Look at this. This is just math. This is amazing, right? There's the underlying math. Try that on for size, Photoshop. Don't worry, I'm going to get back at myself when I do the Photoshop Masterclass today. I'll be like, take that, Illustrator. You know? But again, this is cool. I think it's better, honestly, kind of constrained like this. Now, you ready for this? Is the brush texture a vector or a bitmap? That's a good question. Currently, I'd have to outline it and then it would be vector. But it's vector under the hood. But right now it's a vector line. So, and actually let's prove my point. Let's zoom in on this. If you zoom in on it, you can see that it's very much vector. But it's cool that you can't tell from the outset. Okay, so there we have this. Let's duplicate this. Let's take this. We're going to go back in and we're going to go into general and we're going to say, hey, you know what? Don't scale, or excuse me, do scale the strokes and effects, right? Because if I take this, scale it down, it's just going to look better, right? It scales down the strokes and effects. It doesn't keep them all thick and wonky, but I would just do something, just, I don't know. I think things look better, maybe a little bit smaller. I don't know. I could be wrong. Right? But now we can go in and we can start to tweak this as well. So we see this part, we'll bring this down, remember? Let's have some separation right in here. So we really get that in. Make sure, a lot of times these points might get a little funny, right? So look at this point, it's like, it actually works out pretty well there, but you'll get some of this stuff, right? See how you get that point? You can always kind of tuck that in. But yeah, this is just kind of where I'd go in based on my brush. I would manipulate this accordingly and get this just right. So that point I actually kind of need. And maybe we'll move this whole thing over. Maybe this cuts into it over this way. Because you know what? If we were doing this on paper, yeah, lines would be running into each other. It would be chaos. Tell me what else is going on, people, huh? It is vector. That is right. So, again, just making these fun, like, drastic lines. Like that. Just really giving it a lot of personality at this point. Pulling this over like so. And by the way, so look at this stroke. It's like, okay, this isn't bad. But you could take these strokes and you could actually, let's do this. I haven't done this in a while. I'm going to cross my fingers. Because technically I have not done this, but this should work. Go into Object, go into Path, and we'll go to Reverse Path Direction. That should reverse the art for this. Bam! Reverses the art. So that makes it kind of thicker here and then thinner on this end. Right? So you could always do that. Go in, Object, Path, Reverse Path Direction. Right? Again, just tweaking this. I don't know if you guys like this S, but again, I could always redraw this stuff. I can say, hey, you know what if that doesn't look good? Let's try this again. Hit N for pencil. We'll do like I and then S. Right? That might be easier to read than this one. So let's just take that out, move this one in, zip up. And there we go. Yes. Shout out to those on YouTube, Ivo and Anna Maria. Yeah, so you guys get the idea. Is this working okay? I just love the flexibility because chances are, yeah, I'm gonna misspell something. Oh, that S is so much better. We just need to be able to read this, you know, from a distance, at a quick glance. It just works a lot better. Because again, like I say in this in the description, you know, it's like type has one job, which is to convey information in writing. But again, that writing doesn't have to be boring. And that's where we come in as designers. It's all about getting people's eyeballs, like grabbing their eyeballs and say, hey, you know what? Just literally grabbing their eyeballs and look at my stuff. That's what your art, if you're doing any sort of advertising or any sort of commercial design, your job is to grab eyeballs. It really is. It sounds gross and weird, but you know, that's your job, because it's basically like your clients are hiring you to get others to look at their product, right? So life's an adventure. Okay, there's one done. I want to move on to some other things. And again, we can have some fun with the color too. Maybe I'll do that. I said I was just going to move on, and I'm like, oh, I didn't really add any color to this. A lot of times as a designer, how many of you guys do this? You'll, oh, that's kind of interesting to have a border. You know, you'll create something, you'll start adding to it. You know, maybe changing color, you'll add to it, you'll add more flourishes, and then you start editing. And I think as you mature as a designer, you get better at the editing process. And sometimes not even going down that road, right? You kind of realize less is more. When you're a young designer, you're trying out everything, and then you kind of learn what works and doesn't, and then you start to scale it back. So again, here I would try color. You guys know I like pink. I don't know why. It's just like, this color says life. Like red, pink, vibrant, like yellow. It's like, bam. That's almost too much, but that says like life to me, right? Just something that has a lot of pop to it. Now, does this text really stand out on the pink that much? Maybe not. So let's just switch that up to So this is looking better. This is almost a complete poster. And again, flourishes, I could try different things. Let's add a new layer. Let's hit N for pencil. Let's do just for fun. Let's just try this out. You know, does it have a big heart in the background? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just trying things, people. Things are gonna go wrong. Magenta. Yeah, magenta. And Allison, I never realized I love magenta and pink and those, like, not reds. I even love red. Okay, guys, want to hear something exciting? I'm getting a new bike today, and I'm so excited about it. It's an electric bike, and it's red, and I'm so excited about it. So that's the big news in Paul land. I'm just so excited about it. Because my old one basically broke. So what do you guys think about the heart? Is the heart necessary? Is it adding to it? Is it, you know, adding confusion to the design? That's just like unnecessary. It kind of gets in the way of the word adventure. It's almost like one of those things that I should have mapped out in the beginning. So that being said, work it, Paul, work it, work it, work it, work it. Looks like Valentine's Day. Why? Because of the darn red. Okay, there we go. Shabam! I'm getting a new red bike today, everybody. You guys so excited? I'm so excited. It's Super 73. Look it up. It's amazing. So excited. All right, so there we go. So this is a case where, like, you know, I decided, you know, like, what if I do a heart? And then I try to cram this text in there. And it very well might not work, but you know what? Anything's worth a shot. So let's do it. Again, since this is vector, let's actually take this, cut it, new layer, paste, and then let's get to work. Grouping this text. Bring that up. Bring that over. And start to manipulate this a little bit. All right. Magenta is not really my favorite color, but it's good on this poster. Yeah. Hey, why not? You know what? It's like there are no wrong colors. There are no bad colors. Just like there are no bad fonts. I'm sorry, but you know what? Comic Sans is not a bad font. But if you're using Comic Sans for your party invite, you know what? You can do better. Be better. You know? Be better than the Gap. As they say in that show, Crazy Stupid Love. Be better than the Gap. Right? Okay, so there we go. Something like that. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Typically, I get to this point, by the way, Michelle and Afroja and Don and everybody, like, I'm like, does this work, does it not work? I will step away and then come back to it later on. Because oftentimes I'm like, does it work, does it not work? You just need some time away from it for a little bit and then come back to it. And then you'll clearly see what any issues there are, okay? So there we go. That's done. Shift F, that's presentation mode, right? So we could see that like so. Yeah, what do you guys think so far? Is it all right? Okay, I want to move on to another project, by the way. So again, 2 project Paul today, maybe 3 projects, but I want to do something else with the word life. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so here's the concept, Steve. Steve and Bliss and Michelle, everybody, like, life is like a journey. Right? And I love that. Life is a journey. So what I want to make, and this is not going to be easy. I don't know why I saved it as the second thing, but to make the text or the words out of a maze is the goal. So life is a journey. Like, we go through all these paths. We go through some places we're like, oh, that's a dead end. Oh, I got to go this way. You're just finding your way. So it's like a maze. So I thought it would be cool to do something like that. I'm excited about it. But, you know, maybe that's just the coffee talking. I don't know. All right. Life's an adventure, isn't it? And, you know, life gets fun with friends. So I'm glad you guys are here. My friends, my design friends. Again, right here, I'd probably shrink this down too. Again, because I think less is more, and just like if you take it down a touch. Also, if I'm posting this to Instagram, I want to view this in Instagram size, just so you know. Like on my phone, I want to see how it looks. So that's all. Okay, 1 is done. You know what? I probably think about making the eyes in the eye in is or life. Maybe that's a heart. That might be a more subtle way to approach this. See, we're getting places. All right, let's do that really fast. Hurry, Paul, hurry. There's no time. You got to get on your new project. And for pencil, zip, 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 zip. There we go. Okay. Brushes are not available on Illustrator on the iPad yet. Otherwise, I'd be doing all of this. That's more elegant. Can we agree, Tim? What do you think, Tim? Allison? This is what I'm going for. Less is more. Slow clap for Bliss. Make it punny. Life is amazing. Are you not a genius? Guys, we have a genius in chat today. So amazing. Slow clap. Good job. Oh, man. So, life is a journey. Life is amazing. I love Life is Amazing. Man, Bliss gets full credit for that. So this is, that's what I'll put at the bottom. Bliss. By Bliss. Okay. That is so good. All right. Life is amazing. Okay, so I have some of this started already, but let's just go with it, right? We could change it later on. I think it's very cool. I like it. You know, and the funny thing is, nobody's going to get it but us. We know the word maze is in there, and that's what I think is good. It's, very subtle. Okay, so let's go to work. First off, let me show you kind of where I'm at with all of this. Let's turn this on. Boom, boom. I have this. I've already kind of started this. So I've started, if you hold Shift Command, what is it? Wait. Yeah, Shift Command H. that gets rid of your artboard, so everything is white. But this is off of my artboard, off of my pasteboard, and I have these lines. And I really don't need both of these, but here it is anyway. So this is how you create a brush, right? So, and again, I could have selected any one of these, but let's create a brush. We'll take this, we'll drop it right in here to our brushes panel. I didn't answer the question, like, how did these all get here? I saved this as a template file. So I have this saved as a template file. It's a long story that I don't have time to get into. But file new, this is like my everything customized file. And I don't have the direct path, but you put that, you could make it a template file, but you actually have more capabilities if you save it in a certain folder, yada, yada, yada. So that's where they came from. Okay, let's go back in here. Ba-ba, ba-ba. Pattern brush. Okay. Shabam. Zip in here. Let's do like an auto-centered for the corners. Auto-centered. So we have those nice curves. We need those ends now. How do we do those ends? We'll grab this end. You would think that you would put it in the symbols, but you wouldn't. And that's what I did initially, by the way. Like, why did I put it there? Because I forgot. You need to actually make it a swatch, right? So make it a swatch. Zip. So all you need to do, take this, drop it in here. You make it a swatch, and then it's going to be selectable. The left one, the right one, drop them in there like so. Right, you get the idea. Let's get rid of these. And let's go in here. Let's zoom out, double click, and once it's a swatch, it will appear in this long list. So we'll scroll down. So many things. Boom. Where is it? There you are. Click OK. Bam. There it is. So we went ahead and made a brush, which I already have it like right over here. I already made this today. So we'll hit N. We have this brush selected. And sure enough, there it is. There's like, and the thing is this is not a true maze, but that's how I think I'm gonna make a maze either before or after the fact. I haven't decided. Okay, maybe we make it before the fact. So let's do that right now. Let's do that. Hurry, Paul. That's why. Again, these are just straight lines. It's not a maze, but we're gonna make it a maze. Come in here. Something like that. We will turn on. Let's snap to grid, show grid. Oh, these are no longer lined up to the grid, but usually I would make these based on a grid format, right? Because it only makes sense. Why can I not select this? Okay, there we go. Okay, so now it's snapping to the grid, but let's just do this really fast. Bear with me. This. All right, you know I'm really concentrating when I get quiet. Let's move this over. There we go. Okay, let's get to work. Make it fast. Hurry up, Paul. Whew, the pressure's on. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. Escape. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. So you get the idea. Is that making sense? This one has to be, there has to be a dead end in here. Yeah, this is not going to be easy, but you know what? Nothing worth doing ever is. So take this over here. And that's going to be an interesting little thing I have to solve for. In fact, let's just do this. Hit escape just to start a new line. This one, here we go. We'll have some dead ends in here. All right, this is the life of a designer, just like clicking away, listening to music. Usually. There we go. This is looking like a maze now. We're getting there. Taking these two. These are not two joined lines. Command J. Bam. P for pen. Ba. 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 Like that. But then I'll have this go down here. Should I? Okay, so let's do this. This is also going to have a dead end. Oh, this is getting awfully tricky. We'll get this like 90% of the way there, and then we can change it, because I only have 10 minutes. Hopefully that's okay. All right, but I got like sort of parts of a maze set up. Let's connect these two, right? These two ends. Command J. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to move this in. Again, just getting rid of some of the complexity in here is going to help me. There we go. There we go. Okay, I probably should have consulted what a maze looks like, but I think this is roughly set up. So let's take this, we'll drop it in here, shabam, pattern brush, ba-da. There it is, right? We could see it, we could see it pretty much looking like a maze. I don't know if these corners are gonna fit, so let's do auto-centered. And the key thing here is I'm not going to have any corners. I'm just going to have smooth lines. So I hopefully will not need those. But what I do need are those end caps, which again, I still need to manipulate a little bit. Let's do this really fast. Let's do this on one end at least. Let's plus add a point. Actually, no, let's just get some scissors. Bam, there we are. There we go. There we go. Shift C, boom. Pen tool, ba, ba. Take these two. Command J. Ooh. Make sure you got them. Not that one. Silly guy. Wait for it. Oh, I have it locked. I must have it locked down. Sorry, everyone. I apologize. Yeah, that looks right. this over. So sorry. You guys have been there, right? Where you have things like this happening. It's like, oh, why are you doing that? Command J. I probably could have moved it to the front. Command J. Join. People. Maybe it is joined already. Ah, it was. It was already joined. That was my problem. It didn't look like it was, but it was. Let's get it back into place. Let's get this party started. Come on, hurry up, Paul. Dang it. Get it in there. No. You know what? If you have a problem selecting graphics, you could change the select area, because this has like been hard to select. There we go. There it is. I did it. Finally. Okay, let's move on. Good Lord. Let's get to work, people. Boom. Pattern. Okay. Auto-centered. Auto-centered. Ends. Ends. Click OK. Let's zoom out. Let's get to work. Sorry, I've been ignoring chat. How many panels would you like to open, Paul? Yes. Oh, man, this is, you know, programs like Illustrator, we are supporting the whole monitor industry, because you're like, the solution is I need another monitor, right? Or you learn shortcuts would be the goal. Okay, so let's turn on some text that I might have. Okay, so this is what I had earlier, by the way. Let's change this phrase. I know I need to change this phrase. Let's hide the grid. Let's turn off snap to grid. But here's my text. So I've kind of already outlined it. We can just jump in, select this L. And again, it's not going to be perfect, but I'll select it. This is a big problem, is the size. Not to worry, double click, drop this down 50%. Because again, your strokes are going to be crazy initially. So let's apply to strokes. There we go. We have our little like maze-like letter, which is awfully fun, right? So let's take all these. Heck, let's do it. Let's take the whole phrase, huh? Let's just take all of this. Click, boom, there we are. Double click. It's still a little thick. There's still points that I need to kind of clean up. Maybe I can drop this down to 30 and see what that looks like, right? And I need to change this to life is amazing. So yeah, life is an adventure. Life is amazing. Let's do it. I got 5 minutes, everybody. Command Y. And let's jump in here. Let's duplicate this, because I might need it later. By the way, I did the same thing for this text. What I did is I outlined it. It was actually right next door, right here, and I just like sort of traced over some text. But let's, life is a okay, G, baby. Here we go. Bam, bam. 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 All right, we did it. Maybe we'll take this text and move it down here. I don't know. This is going to take some work. H. Wait for it. We're almost there, folks. Bam. And yeah, we're well on the way. We're well on our way for making this right? A lot of times for this M, right? What do we need to do? We need to bend this. So come in here. If you could see it, in fact, we could do Command Y, right? We could sort of curve those like so. So that's what it does. Kind of curve it out and see if that works. I kind of like that part. But again, I want to get rid of all those like sharp lines. So, and actually thinking about this, it would be better if these A's were more like, kind of like that. There we go. Like that. And I would just start curving out everything, right? And I'm not crazy about the curved ends, right? But my goal is to set this up in such a way to where once I have the font, the stroke squared away, it should be easy to apply this to a font. Take this, have this come down, right? Have it connect with the S, right? Make it a maze, right? And then put little people in there, like fun little things like they have in mazes, like a little treasure chest over here, you know, I don't know, maybe a house, I don't know, just like things in life, right? But again, I would tighten this up. And I just need more time for it. Darn it, why are these masterclasses so short? I need more time. Be like, okay, tighten it up. And the great thing is I can scale up this text also. So don't forget about this becomes crucial, is whether you want to scale up the strokes or not. So typically I would say no at this point. And that allows me to take this text right here and, you know, scale it up without distorting the maze, right? But again, I need more time on this. So yeah. Yeah, fountain. Oh, yeah, I used to, excuse me. I used to draw mazes as a kid. And you always entered through a volcano at the top. That's how you got in, which I thought was really fun. So this is very near and dear to my heart since I used to draw mazes all the time. But that's all about sort of, again, we're just creating some typography or typographic poster, right? Like we're doing here, sort of having the phrase and focusing on the message is what's happening here. We're focusing on the message and all the graphics support that message visually, which is cool. So thanks so much, everybody. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad I get to do the Photoshop Masterclass later on. Thank you so much. Stick around. We got Terry White up next. Daily creative challenges as well, and more masterclasses. So thanks so much, everybody. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for being wonderful, and we'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.